the video I'm recording. Um, this one, I decided to, instead of just making a figure or a couple, to make like a small little scene. And so far, oh, I don't know, I'm saying so far because you're going to see the process, but I'm hoping to make the figure I made before, but with this like kind of like stick hammer looking thing, like whacking into the ground and hitting an enemy. And I'm going to aim to like make a paper mache like stand for it. It's gonna have the rocks like curving outwards, so it's like it like portrays the ground getting actually broken. So that is the aim, and if I succeeded, on top of seeing this video, you'll also see that in the thumbnail of the video. So, wish me luck, and yeah, I'm using footage of this match in Shinobi Strikers because, this character is kind of where the idea is based on, because you can see the design of the outfit is based on this design. The hammer kind of weapon is based on that, because I like the concept in here, because I remember watching clips of the actual show of the character that it was based on. So yeah, I think it will be interesting. Anyway,
5 minutes later.
so this is basically the section I don't think I've shown properly in the video yet, but this is basically where I print out the design, like proper the design you saw last video, which was the like grey ninja suit looking one, and I basically just like take time to colour it in, and then typically I'll like scan it, so I have the save of the colour version, even though I don't have a coloured printer. It's just like, if I ever want to make copies, I'll probably go to a place to find somewhere to print it. This is actually new stuff now, because you'll see the hammer design, and at the moment I actually don't have enough of a certain part of it, but I think you may see it later on. I'll explain it once it's complete, because I've noticed that, like, in terms of the net, when it's just like this, it's hard to explain, so as I'm building it, I'll like walk you through the process. I also finally got a proper camera angle, because I elevated the camera, so I think it should be, in terms of making stuff, it should be better, hopefully, because even just watching it now, it does look like clearer than it normally does. So yeah.
A few minutes later.
So this is a process of me, after completing the colour on the figure, on this case specifically with the hammer, I like cut it out and stick it down, and I'm only going to show you cutting out the hammer and then the legs of one of the figures, just to give you like the rough idea of what's going on, because I don't need to show you me gluing onto cardboard every single aspect of things, because it would get tedious. So while I'm talking, you're just gonna see those two parts. So basically, before I used to stick them down with sellotape, but nowadays I use glue, because when I actually like cut out and like make the figure, I don't want it like peeling off. I want there to be like some solid foundation, so that even if it peels, the base of it has like some like cohesion. And I don't know why I didn't figure that out before, but yeah, that's something I do now. So I always have to have like glue sticks whenever I make stuff. And yeah, this one I didn't really need to like plan it out. It was just kind of just like go and look at the design in the game, and then kind of try and replicate it to the best of my ability. Then you can see here, this is like the legs of the figure and the two swords. But for this one, the swords will be like in their sheaths permanently. So, kind of just... I could have it so the swords aren't there, but it will just look better. So yeah, that is why they are there. Anyway, catch you in a bit. So on my end, it's been like 2 days since the last clip. I didn't want to go full in on the project because I've been doing it for like 3 days non-stop. And the next bit was paper mache that I need to work on my end. But this is the like cutting out, putting it together, and I feel like at some point when I have like better, like more room and stuff, I will be able to explain this a lot better. But I feel like I've improved the angle so you can see like I'm cutting out stuff here, and it's basically just like the point of like taking it from a flat to a flat surface to like a 3D shape. So you can see the start of the hammer there, and I'm kind of just like put the pieces together, and anything that's like hollow to a like a lot the arms and stuff I don't fill in because they're like hollow, but they're smaller. But anything like slightly bigger and hollow, I'll tend to fill in with like scrap paper that I have. So anything I misprint or something like that, like you see the hammer is like looks a bit more bulky because I filled it with paper. But before I did that, on the inside of like the pole, I hot glued the top and the bottom so that it can't be like pressed in on those parts. So it stops at a certain point, so it still has that like hammer shape without looking like a pillow. Just as when you like stuff like something with paper and like seal it, when you don't have the hot glue, it tends to have like a bloating look to it, which I don't like. Which is fine for like the body, but like for something like this, I want it to be a bit clearer what it is. So yeah, this is the this last bit. I'm adding like the spikes on the end of it that I added. It turns out that I didn't initial design. I forgot to add the six spikes for one side, and I only printed out one side. Yeah. Then this is like the enemy. I kind of basically was like I kind of want like a grunt design for like random mobs to fight. So I was like, let's go for some sort of like Power Ranger-y aesthetic. And yeah, so basically whenever I make these, I can just change the color pattern and just be like, oh, these are different tiers and stuff, and it lends to a simple design that I can like play with like different colors. Maybe I could do like a female version as well, but that's probably when I get like bored of making this one guy over and over again. But yeah, this is whenever I make these, I tend to do the chest first, just because that the chest requires hot glue in specific places. Because when I started using hot glue, I hot glued inside the chest area to make it more secure, because I'm like stuffing it. And then I kind of skipped putting it together, because I realized as I was making it, it's not all in frame, which I'm slowly working on. But yeah, you can see I'm like hot gluing the hammer onto the actual person, basically because I want to like construct the figure piece by piece and give it time to like dry. So while I'm working on it, if anything breaks, I can fix it without it like being, oh, the thing's done, now let me put it together. So yeah, this angle should definitely be better, but I'm slowly working on it because I kind of have limited space. My desk isn't the largest, and as I continue to do this, I'll probably like improve on like what I'm using to make videos. So yeah, the next bit I'm probably gonna, I'll probably go take you through like pictures of like the paper mache stuff, and then once I'm like painting it, I'll let you know. So bye bye. So this is getting a little bit closer to the end, because I'm going to show you me making the base for the model, which I'm then going to, you know, add things to you know, change it up and make it more what I want it to look like. So I basically start with how I like use a net to make the actual other like human characters I make, or like any kind of like anything I make that isn't paper mache stuff. I basically do that for the base of the stands, then but it's on the cardboard, so I'm physically drawing on the cardboard. So for this one I did 2 like circles and then 2 strips for the like outside layer of them, and then cut them out and put them together. Hot glued the base, so the bottom would have a flatter surface than the top, because then I fill it with paper, like seal it with like sellotape, and then add little tower bits, because basically I want it to be like the ground is cracked. So these are I'm gonna when I'm like, after I've paper mache it, I'm going to paint these bits to look like they're coming from the ground. So basically once the general shape is done, I then paper mache the whole thing, let that dry, so that I paper mache it in a day, it's done. Then I paper mache it again with tissue paper, just to give it a bit more strength, and also it's to get into the like little nooks and crannies for like anything intricate. Even if there isn't intricate bits, I still do that extra bit just because, you know, on the tissue paper seems to be easier to like work with in terms of like painting it. So yeah, that's basically where I'm at, and I think I'm going to film painting the actual figure, but you know, you'll find out in a moment.
A few minutes later.
Wow, it's moments later, and as you can see, I'm painting the paper mache dealie, you know, technically tissue paper mache, but yeah. I was gonna paint it like a kind of sandy color, then I realized it like the ground would be like breaking, so I painted it completely white, and I wanted to try out some other stuff that you'll see later, but for now you just need to focus on like the orange thing slowly becoming white, and I do a couple of like brushes over it to just get rid of as much orange as humanly possible, just so I can make sure that the base white of like, you can imagine it in the scene anywhere that has like a white floor that's like solid enough to like have cracks in it. That's basically what I'm going for. And yeah, I basically, you know, it's coming up, so let me just explain now that I basically have felt tips that I was like, let me see if I can put black on the actual paint, because I work better with pen, because, you know, I draw a lot. There's my forehead, back of my head, but shut up. So I basically drew lines and drew cracks in it, as you can see there, by adding detail, slowly going, adding more detail with greys, lighter greys, and then for like dust effects I added like a cream kind of, like a dirty cream color, we'll call it, you know, I don't know what to call it, but yeah. And yeah, so you got a little snippet into the future, but yeah, this is me finishing off the painting, because it's weird because the paper mache like kind of gives me to wait all day to wait for stuff to dry, but paint wise it only took like a couple hours, not even a couple hours, like an hour to dry, so it kind of felt like I was just speed running it. And yeah, that's it basically, and the final bit will be me showing off the final figure. that I've been working on. It's taken me a couple of weeks to do this one, which I'm surprised with because this one was meant to be a lot simpler, but the paper mache of it all always factors in some like waiting, waiting. It sure do be waiting. So anyway, the next clip you'll see is the final end of this video. Yeah. So, here's the final product. As you can see, we've got the boy glued down on the floor. So now it displays a nifty little scene. I really like the way it came out. And yeah, I feel like I did like the first two, but so far these two, second videos, in terms of quality, I think there has been an improvement. Learned a lot from getting back into the swing of things. So yeah, that's it, and not much more to say now. The screen is black now. Ran out of footage to play here because I'm done. Why are you here? You can leave now. Get out. Bye.